Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to a new video in Maya 2025. Well, this is a video for beginners, I think, but it can also be interesting for people that are maybe fairly new to the topic, yeah? So, what are we talking about? We're talking about modeling choices based on proximity and based on applied use and budget. Now, that's a mouthful. What does that even mean? Well, let me explain. Let's say you're modeling something, right? Well, chances are whatever you're modeling is going to show up either in a movie of some sort or in a game, right? Unless you have it sitting on your desktop just looking at it. But if it's ending up in a movie or in a game, then there are things to consider. Let's start with movies. Well, movies are linear. Now, what that means is if you have a camera, let's go in here and create a camera. It's in there somewhere, right here, yeah. And we're going to create an object, yeah. All right. Okay, so the object is a prop in the scene. The camera is moving from left to right. Okay, record, blah, blah, blah. Now, what that means is it starts recording over here, it ends recording over there, and it records screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth until it's done. Now, it's linear, which means that I know up front how far I'm going to be from my object, right? I know how much detail needs to be in the shot, and based on that, I make modeling choices. Now, if that same prop was way back here, then, and I did the same shot again, right? I would say, okay, this is a wooden crate and it's in a Western scene. It's sitting next to a barn, I don't know, 200 feet away. My modeling choices would affect the topology, right? How much faces can I have in this model? Well, if it's that far away, then who cares, right? I can even go as far, if it's a straight shot, I can go as far as taking away any face that I don't need, right? Something like this. So this could be my crate, right? If the angle is correct, my camera's in here somewhere, yeah. If the angle is correct and my camera is over here and it's only going to be in the shot like this, then why would I add more detail to it, right? It all has to be rendered out. Rendering costs money, so not going to bother. So this means that this has an effect from a proximity point of view and from a detail point of view. So if it's closer by, if it's important to the shot, I'll add more detail to it. In this scenario, it will probably be just a simple texture map, right? As it gets way closer, it may be additional modeling, it may be sculpting, it may be a whole bunch of maps applied to it. You get the idea, yeah? Now, that's the linear story. What about non-linear rendering? Now, we're gonna move this camera back to where we were, and we're gonna have our object again, and we're gonna talk about non-linear. Now, nonlinear is when you don't know what's going to render first, what's going to be rendered second, and how it's going to be rendered, close by or far away. When does that happen? In the game scenario, right? So if you have a prop that's going to be in a game, then the camera is moving based on the player movement. So if this simple texture file is applied to this model right here, and you are operating the character, if you will, right? And you're going to move over here, you're going to see that it's not a complete model. So that's no bueno, right? So, like that, yeah? So that is a non-linear rendering, or in other words, real-time rendering. Based on where you go, that shot is rendered. Now, what are the considerations in a scenario like that? First of all, what type of game is it? Is it a game on the cell phone? Or is it a AAA game? Big difference, right? Because as a 3D artist, you get a budget as to how much topology, how much face count you can have for whatever you're modeling. And a prop might have a low face count, where a character might have a way bigger budget. And that's what they mean when they talk about budgets, right? So if you are working on something like Angry Birds, right? That's what it's called, yeah? Angry Birds. Okay, now the characters have somewhat detail. The props are not that important. It's about the game dynamics, right? Nobody cares that the props are a little bit low poly and so forth. The consideration is you're playing the game on a mobile device. It's real-time rendering, which is system heavy, and you have to make those choices, right? You typically don't see a AAA game on a cell phone. Now, when you have more budget, you can model accordingly. So what are your steps, right? You can have something as simple as this, right? Where you just have the facade, if you will. You can say, okay, I got a little bit more budget here and it needs to be more realistic. You can add a lot more texture files and baking maps and whatnot to it to give it the illusion of more detail. Or you can actually go in and give it actual detail, right? So more boards on the crate, nails, grooves, dents, and so forth and so on, yeah? So these are just a few considerations to keep in mind when you are modeling something as far as its intended purpose, right? So is it a linear render sequence? What is your topology budget? Is it for a game where it's nonlinear? What you can do there? One additional tip here, if it is for a game, there are still ways to I wouldn't say trick the system, but still ways to control it a little bit. To give you an idea, if we jump to this screen right here, we have a couple of quadrants, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you have a navigation system set up in a game where you're the player and you move from room to room or from screen to screen, then you can limit what's in view, right? If you are in screen number 2, nothing in screen number 1 will ever be in that scene, right? So you can kind of limit what's visible in that situation. Although it's not linear and although it's real time, you're in that room or in that room. You can't be in all rooms at the same time. That gives you a little bit more topology budget control, right? And then, of course, there are a lot more tricks you can use, as they do in the movie industry as well, but that's for another day, right? Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying the Maya videos. A lot of you wanted me to go back to Maya. I did so. So let me know in the comments what you think. Show me some love, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that will let me know that I should keep on going, right? Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.